Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Latoya and I do natural hair videos as well as videos to help entrepreneurs. So I also make tags. I made a best and worst hair days tag that you can check out in the description below. And I also made a new tag called the My First tag, talking about my first time ever doing something. So let's get on with the tag. Question number 1 is, who was my first crush? So my first crush was someone that went to my church back when I was a teenager. And he was like tall, athletic. He was in the choir and stuff. A lot of girls liked him, but like I had the hugest crush on him. He was my first crush where I really felt it in my heart. And I would like try to talk to him and whatever. I remember one day he was laying on the ground like on his side because he was tired or something like that. But like I laid beside him like just looking at him. I know he was like, oh my gosh, he's so thirsty. But yeah, that was my first crush. Number 2 is my first kiss. Well, back in high school, I didn't date anyone in high school. So it had to be, at Tri-C, someone that I went on a few dates with. We shared a kiss like after one of our classes. And wow, I think that was my first kiss. Like on the lips, like, yeah, that was my first kiss. Number 3 is first piercing. My first piercing was when I was a baby. I got my ears pierced, my ear pierced. Then I got the second hole pierced when I was like, 20, something like that. But I got my first hole pierced as a baby, like many other people. Number 4 is first tattoo. I have no tattoos. I remember I kind of wanted a tattoo like in my early 20s, but not seriously. None of my parents have tattoos, so I just don't feel the need for a tattoo. First roller coaster. I'm terrified of roller coasters. Anything that goes down a hill, I'm not doing it. Like, I feel like I'm gonna die. People feel like that feeling in your stomach, like, that terrifies me. A lot of people like that feeling. Like, that feeling makes me literally feel like I'm gonna die. Like, there's fear. So I don't go down no hills. I do remember I was on the log ride. I think it's called the log ride. It's shaped like a log. And you go down the slope. Like, one of my friends was like sitting in front of me, because I think it's 2 people that could go on that ride. And when we were going down the hill, I was like, her chest was like right here. I was like, boom, 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 boom. I couldn't help it. Like, it was like fight or flight. Like, I'm gonna die. I'm going down this hill. I felt so bad for her after we were done, but yeah, none of that for me. I'll do the scrambler, I'll do the yo-yo, I'll do that big Ferris wheel, I'll do stuff like that, but not no hills. Number 6 is first time losing a loved one. My first experience losing someone I love is when my grandfather died when I was 8 years old. Yeah, we were really close. And like I would go over to my grandparents' house all the time, like all the time. We were really close though, so that was my first time losing someone I love, and it affected me big time. So number 7 is my first period. So my first cycle was when I was 13 and a half. It was on my brother's birthday, which is weird. January 6th is when it happened, and so that day we had a cake for him. Like, my mom always buys a cake, and we were at the house, and I remember the night before I felt cramps in my stomach, but I didn't know what it was because I never had a cramp before. So I just remember my stomach feeling slight cramps. So when I woke up that morning is when I noticed that it happened. I'm like, but thankfully my mom told me about it, so I didn't like freak out. I was just like, look, it's real, it's real. So yeah, that's my first one. First date. My first date was prom. Yeah, that was my first date when I was 17 when I went to the prom, and he asked me to go to prom. Yeah, I had fun at prom. It was really fun. I loved my dress and everything. So that was my first date. Number 9 is first job. I had my first job when I was 18. I was right out of high school, and it was telemarketing for a mortgage company. And I was not good at it. Like, I wasn't good at getting leads or anything. And the crazy thing was that we had to ask for people's social security number, which I know wouldn't fly nowadays. But then we had to, and that's how we got like bonuses and stuff like that. Of course, most people weren't comfortable sharing their social, and the people that were like older women, usually older people who would share. But I don't see how anybody would do that, like, especially nowadays. People are more cautious, but that was crazy. So I wasn't comfortable doing that, and I only lasted a month there. And I remember my boss like came behind me one day while I was working, and he whispered in my ear like, "We have to let you go." I'm like, okay. No tears lost. So that was my first job. Number 10 is first car. My first car was a red Chevy Prism, and I love that car. I bought it used. It was a 2001, and that was 6 years ago, about 6 years ago. So yeah, I love my car. Like, I had it for 3 years, about 3 years, and I loved it. Now, after like 2 years, I noticed there was a lot of rust on the hood due to like the winters and stuff, the harsh winters here in Ohio. So it started looking kind of crappy, and then it started breaking down and stuff. So I knew it was time to get a new car. And yeah, that was my first car. First pet. My family had a lot of pets. The first animal that I remember is Shane, my dog Shane. She was a terrier mix. She was gray, like gray mixed with white, like a grayish color. She was a really good dog, like friendly, wouldn't give you many problems. So that's the first pet that I remember. First fight or argument. The first fight I can remember is with my brother. We would fight over stupid stuff. I mean, we get along really good, but especially when we were younger, we would just fight over stupid stuff. And I remember, I don't know what we were arguing about, but like we were in my bedroom, and like I remember just like slamming him like on the bed. Yeah, on my bed, like just slamming him. And that was probably the most like physical we got, as far as, you know, I didn't punch him or anything. I ain't crazy, but I slammed him real hard, like. So that's like the first fight I remember. I got in another fight, not punching, but like with a girl later on, but that's the only 2 fights. I'm too pretty for that. Number 13 is first drink. My first alcoholic drink I can remember is actually as a kid, because my dad let me drink beer just to see how it tasted. It was freaking disgusting, okay? And I'll never drink beer again. I don't see how people do it. It tasted like gasoline or something. I did not like it. So that was the first time I remember drinking. Number 14 is first time on my own. My first time on my own was in college. I went to OSU, Ohio State University. I only went for 1 semester, but that was in 2007, when I was 21. So I had a ball for those 3 months I was there. Like, I had my 2 friends there, so I always had someone to hang out with, and it was just always something to do. But the problem was I kept changing my major and didn't really know what I wanted to do. So my dad was like, no, I ain't wasting my money here. So I was sent back home, and I was mad about it, but I understand, because with this entrepreneur spirit. I wasn't made to really blend in the corporate world. I'm just not. So I should have majored in business, but you live and you learn. But it was fun experiencing dorms and, you know, college life. And last but not least, number 15 is my first trip. The first trip I could remember was probably Canada. Me and my family's taken many trips. Like, I've been blessed to go to, you know, many different places. But I think Canada, we used to go like every year for like 6 years straight. So Niagara Falls, Canada, usually the Canadian side we would go. And just had a lot of fun. So that was my tag. It's 15 questions. If you're a YouTuber and interested in participating in this tag, just let me know, contact me, and just make sure to mention me in your video. And this is called the My First Tag. I will talk to you later, and make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you can check out any other tags I make up or natural hair videos. Take care.